Hello and welcome to Advertisers Watching Ads. This is a weekly show where brands watch other brands' ads. My name is Tom Ollerton. I'm the founder of Automated Creative, and we are brought to you this week, as ever, by our much-loved partners, Contagious, who helped choose the ad this week. So please go and check those guys out after the show. But before we get to this week's ad, let's meet this week's guests.
I'm Sarah Dossett, Marketing VP for Danone in the UK and Ireland.
Hi, I'm Abeed Janmohamed, founder and director of Volando Growth Consultancy.
Hi, I'm Kristof Neirynck. I'm the global CMO for Avon Cosmetics.
What a panel. Thank you so much for joining us this week. So Spotify have made an album's worth of songs about chief marketing officers.
Rachel Fernando, Chris like Doritos, CMO of Frito.
They commissioned the artists to write bespoke tracks based on the CMO's music tastes.
In Hawaii from the West Coast. Brad, he'll hit and play you in a dance off.
This resulted in $1 billion worth of sales, apparently. Let's see the ad.
We have unique insight into our listeners' true taste and musical sweet spots. And because CMOs use our platform, just like millions of our listeners, we were able to create something unique to them.
Let me get this straight. You want to speak to CMOs by writing original songs about them based on the data that you pulled on them. And I said, sounds like a great idea.
Rachel Fernando, Chris like Doritos, CMO of Frito. She's the marketing lead of Casey. Z-E-N-A. Brad, in Hawaii from the West Coast. Brad, he'll hit and play you in a dance off. CMO, baby.
So it's customary to give the idea a vote out of 5. So 1, 2, 3. A 3, a 3, and a 4. That puts Spotify mid-table. So much there to talk about. Kristof, what was your first take on it?
In the film, and that's why I was intrigued, it was kind of positioned as this really exciting real-time example of, personalization based on, personal music taste. But actually, when you then go on Google, somebody called their enterprise marketing head basically says that they actually got in touch with the CMOs, asked them about their preferred music genre, and then basically wrote the lyrics together with them and got the whole thing approved step by step. I mean, it's hardly an example of real-time personalization, is it? So that's why I was a bit disappointed when I found that more. They won, I think, 4 Cannes Lions, 8 Clio Awards. They had tons and tons of press articles. So from that perspective, it was probably considered a success.
In fairness to them, they don't claim it in the advert for it to be personalized. So I'm interested to know, Kristof, why you see that as a critique of the ad in itself.
Yeah, no, but in the ad, they said they pulled music preferences from the CMO. And actually, when you go on the Spotify website, the way they position themselves as hyper-personalized advertising. Now, unless, of course, you play Bonnie Tyler, Total Eclipse from the Heart over and over and over again. Maybe that does say something about what you need in terms of help from a product. But, still some questions there on that link between the music you listen to and you being a prime prospect for a certain brand.
I think if I look at the positives of the ad from a brand consistency point of view, you just knew it was from Spotify. It was very similar to what they've done before. You've seen ad campaigns of how they've leveraged insights, whether that's at Christmas or New Year. It felt really consistent with what the brand stands for. And actually the single-minded message around audio is being underutilized came through. From a brand tone, from a brand message point of view, that was super clear for me. I just then questioned the scale, because again, a bit like Kristof, okay, nice to have personalized messages to some of these CMOs, but the noise and the buzz that it created, I could not find that online at all. So it just felt like a really nice thing to do to 5 or 6 CMOs, which I also question mark why they didn't really know the power of Spotify targeted audio ads at the same time as well. So I would, if I was Spotify, dig into that insight of why they don't know, rather than just raising awareness.
Well, I think the lack of authenticity was something that I think frustrated me, partly because having spent most of my life in in data and advertising, I know what they're capable of. And this was something that was a little bit like, you kind of done 25, 30% of what you can do. And if you'd done it in a slightly more authentic way, I think you could have really pushed it out there. And okay, they've won some awards, great. But I think it just left me a little bit, something slightly missing. What would be good is to take 20, 30 other CMOs and say, right, let's consent to us scraping your data and looking at your data. And then let's actually see what they do and see how that comes across. It would be interesting to see what data or how they could leverage their data to be able to almost aggregate around their data.
In the context that we're operating at the moment, where TV inflation is going crazy, actually from a timing point of view, as I was viewing this, a reminder of other mediums for some of these big CMOs. I think that simple line, whether it's engagement, we can debate the facts there, but simply that audio is underutilized. I think the context of this year with inflation, that's where success could have been driven. And that's where it's just like the one message that stands out for CMOs.
If they would have reached out to me personally to do this, well, clearly I would have been feeling very honored. Flattery works, right? So maybe I would have had another conversation with them and maybe in the end set up a trial. I don't know, but and clearly having one of those platinum discs on your wall is always nice. But and especially as the songs are, how amazing you are as a CMO.
The only way that the Spotify advertising works is if you don't have a premium account. But generally speaking, if you're speaking to an unpaid Spotify audience, they're going to be a lower value customer. I'm curious to know your thoughts on that.
I think that's where there is that slight disconnect. I think if they were to go almost take that extra step now and sort of follow that up with something, I think that would get them back into the space where they need to be.
So Sarah, what do you think the industry can learn from this?
A lot of industry clients are relying on their big media agencies to bring them the insights. But actually what Spotify have done here have gone straight to clients. And I think probably more and more with data, with insights, that's going to drive that direct relationship. And I think that's where you're getting that direct awareness generation and the right questions to be asked. But not many media will do that. They'll rely on the big networks to replay that to their clients.
It's interesting because I was on a panel in 2012 with Rory Sutherland talking about Spotify and their data capability. They talked about their unknown unknowns back then. And the ability to leverage data. So it was interesting that this was something that basically, they were trying to showcase their data capability in the right way. So I thought that came through. I think the audio piece, that came through again. So kind of tick in the box there. A little bit gimmicky in the way that they sort of, obviously picked out those CMOs.
I don't necessarily spend my whole day just having an ambition of having an account submission. In this case, I don't know internally if that's maybe the reason why they did it. Because, if you think about their objective of reaching their target audience, well, Cannes is full of it. If I would run off their campaign brief, which is, find a PR campaign or an idea that basically raises awareness among CMOs, then clearly they are at Cannes, they're at the Clios. In that case, I would actually probably purposefully design it for that rather than making sure that the execution is picture perfect. you know.
Absolutely.
Abeed, Sarah, Kristof, thanks so much for your time.